Welcome back, Frank, as the final interview partner that we have here as part of the KNX Secure Day. Reason why Frank is back again is because we are all very interested, not only in how KNX is actually performing in the US. We see a lot going on there. Actually, KNX is performing right now at a fair in Las Vegas. And therefore, it's like we would like to learn more about KNX in the US and also about the security topic as such. So therefore, I'm very happy to have Frank back again as my interview partner here, giving a bit of an insight as an integrator or as a distributor of KNX solutions of various manufacturers, and also having had his first discussions and also his first use cases with KNX Secure. So hi, Frank. Thank you very much for being again here as my interview partner. And let's dive right in. Before we go into the topic of security, can you maybe just point out how the development of KNX has been in the last 6 years in the US? Where have we been before at the beginning of the national group, and where are we right
now? For the last 6 years, the growth has been here. It's moving ahead slowly. We've got now that we've got other companies coming out with UL certified products. I think that the KNX market for the US is really going to start taking off. People are starting to learn who we are, and people are starting to learn that we're not going anywhere. So it's time to embrace KNX as a standard in the US, like many other countries have.
All right, can you tell us a bit more about the UL certification? Because the UL certification as such was always the reason why we had a bit of beginning problems in the US. But like you just said, that those problems will be history very soon.
Yeah, that has always been kind of a concern, even though a lot of the products don't necessarily have to be UL listed. There's always been a big misconception that everything has to be UL listed, when in fact it does not. They are certifying the products that do have to be UL listed. And
what is UL? What is UL for people to understand?
UL is Underwriters Laboratory. There are people that certify devices that are specified on a lot of projects. UL is a third party. It's not really a government entity. Here in the U.S., they are a third party that gives that does testing and certifies products that they meet a certain standard. So people come in and they pay their fees, and then they get their UL listing to say, yeah, this device is good to go, and it's easier for big insurance companies to write them.
Okay, and what kind of devices do you need this UL certification?
Typically, those are devices that are over 36 volts, typically 36 to 48 volt, which would mean 110, 115 volt devices.
All right. So, and this was always let's say, the problem for KNX to get started. But you mentioned before that more and more manufacturers are also now getting this certification. So do you now see a big change in the market?
Yes, we've got more people looking at how we approach things, because currently, if you look at holistic views of products, the availability for those products are very few. So and moving ahead, that is why with KNX adopting KNX Secure, it makes it that much more robust and much more viable.
All right. Yeah, you mentioned it before, KNX Secure as such. We were always looking at the security also aspect in every country that we are, of course, active in. Can you give us a bit more of an understanding of the topic of security as such here? Do you see that actually everywhere being one of the buzzwords, or is it something which is actually more in the background?
No, with all the data breaches and everything going around, it's always in the back of people's minds, and in some of them, especially the people that are running the IT infrastructure and stuff, it's in the front of their mind. Where we've been with it before is we had to not only be the KNX integrators, but we also had to be keep in mind the IT part of things, to where we had to make sure we implemented the security on the front side. We always had our ways to add security on KNX, but it wasn't foolproof. But now with KNX Secure, it just makes it more easily adaptable to work with the IT group and stuff on the protection for their data side.
All right, good. So you mentioned it, maybe to like address the elephant in the room. You mentioned that it is getting better to get your hands on KNX devices, right? How is the landscape for KNX Secure devices in the US? How would you like say? Is it easy to get KNX Secure devices at the moment?
Some of the devices that we're using on KNX, we're mainly using the IP routers. And some of the other devices that we have are kind of few that are UL listed. But we haven't brought many in. There's other groups that may have. We have some manufacturers that we work with that have several, and it's just the time for the projects to come up that we will
Right.
be utilizing those products.
Okay, so like from what I do understand here is like that actually it is not very easy to get your hands on KNX Secure devices in the US. And therefore you have to like rely on other ways to secure an installation. Did I get you right here?
Yes, until we start widely getting those KNX Secure devices, what we'll do is we'll implement the devices that we can, and then do it on the IP side of things, and then what we can do from there is make sure that we're secure on our side.
All right. What is like in your opinion then like required in order to get like those KNX Secure devices over to the US? What has to happen?
Most of the manufacturers, they're either going to have to get, for us to be more specified in projects by engineers and architects, they're going to have to be more and more either ETL certified or UL certified on the line voltage products. And then, with the lower voltage products, that's really not an issue. They don't have to be UL certified on the low voltage products. So that's really not an issue.
So okay, so pretty much there is not much of an issue to bring KNX Secure devices to the US. That's what you say. They just have to do it.
Yeah, they just have to do it. They need to make them available, because a lot of people don't know that, hey, we want KNX in the US. We need you here. We want you to bring your products to the US.
Yeah.
We get lots of calls about it. We reach out to other manufacturers, and there's just so few people doing it right now in the U.S. that we need more people to get certified, to take the KNX training, and be just kind of join the KNX revolution as it goes forward.
All right. So pretty much there's still a lot of potential to harvest in the US, also for KNX, and of course, like in terms of KNX security, this is like where we can go to. You mentioned before also like certified KNX partners. Do you see like the training level or like the level of training that we have in regards to security for KNX? Do you see it like on a good level in the US, or do you think there's also like room for improvement?
Any product that you use, and that's just like the KNX Secure. You can never stop training. So as long as there's updates and stuff coming out, we'll keep our people and our dealers and everything. We'll keep them up to date on the training and push that out as it comes available, because it's always evolving and always changing.
Right, good. In terms of KNX manufacturers, do you receive enough information, you think, in your opinion, when it comes to security, or is the focus like more on comfort or something else? Because here we are trying to like put a focus on security. Is that focus also given in the US by the KNX manufacturers?
Oh yeah. Here's the thing: a lot of your larger companies, they always have their threat assessment teams that are keeping track of those threats that are coming through. So a lot of times, if there's a big threat that comes through, or something that we need to update, or something that needs to be watched for, we get notifications, we get updates. So it's a lot like the antivirus stuff. It's starting to gain momentum, and people are starting to keep up with it.
Right. Okay, good. So now I think we've got a pretty clear overview about the market situation in the US. Of course, it's a very challenging market that we all know, and that there are no doubts about it. But it's like, I think, very encouraging to hear that there's a potential. And from what I understand from your side, it's actually that you're begging like all the manufacturers, please, 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 don't put the US like outside of your focus, but put it inside your focus, because there's still a lot of room to grow. Um, as we also figured out during our panel discussion, there is a KNX national group also active in the US. And you're also part of that national group. So that national group is, as mentioned before, like currently exhibiting in Las Vegas at Light Fair, and is doing also some more activities. Have you planned anything in terms of promoting not only KNX, but also like seeing or bringing the extension of the KNX standard also straight to the people? And when I talk about the extensions of the KNX standard, I'm of course also talking about KNX Secure. Are there any plans from the KNX national group side?
Yeah, we right now we're currently looking at the shows that we want to do to get our products in front of people. We're doing a lot of local. We're looking at doing a lot of local events. Looking more at regional, uh, state, city level events that, like AIA. We're discussing going, displaying products at AIA. We have a couple smart city events coming up that we are going to have booths at. There's a lot of opportunity, and we need to get people to understand that you know KNX is more than just lighting. It's more than just HVAC. This is control for your entire facility within one standard. That you know um, that's what a lot of people need to learn, and what a lot of people need to understand. It's not just one product for one silo. We cover all the silos within a facility.
All right, good. You've been active with building automation now for a couple of years, right? How many years?
Oh, building automation as a whole for probably about 30 years, I'd say. So
30
it's
years.
been,
Okay, so like,
yeah. And I've been
okay,
involved with around KNX for about 10 to 15. So
all right.
it's nothing new to my side of things. It's new to a lot of other people.
All right, good. Have you seen any development in terms of building automation then? Because that is like what I also discussed with everybody else. We made like a time travel to the past, and in the beginning it was okay, let's just make my house smart. But now, but then from all of a sudden, like everybody started to also look at the security aspect. When was like the moment in the US, and why do you think did people start to focus on security as such, and less or as much on comfort as on security?
I think it started happening. People had a lot of different devices, like voice assistants, things like Google, Alexa, things like that, that were already in their home. And then there's reports of stuff that come out about, oh, people are listening in on this and people are listening in on that. And I think that opened a lot of people's eyes to, wait a minute, is my home really my private area? So um, I think people started realizing that this is stuff that we need to check into, and this is stuff that we need to consider. So This is another one of those things that a lot of people may not understand is with a KNX standard, we have the ability to give someone an intelligent and smart facility from a home to an office to a hotel without actually being connected to the internet if you really think about it. And what's the most secure way to have something? And that's not connect to the internet. um, I know that is kind of a oxymoron, but you know, if you still want it to be intelligent and things to operate in, you know, in that fashion, everything needs to be connected um, locally and be able to
Right.
run without the internet.
Well, you are absolutely right. For that, also, we have KNX manufacturers offering the according offline solutions. So even if you would want to use a smart speaker that keeps on listening to you, you don't necessarily have to connect it to the internet. You can actually use that offline control. For more information, of course, about that, just Google offline control KNX and you will definitely find the according manufacturer here. Great. Frank, thank you very much for sharing like your view on that. That was very insightful. Also like to understand why KNX is where it currently is in the US. I also bet there are some other countries also that share, let's say, the same challenges, but also like the same potential that you have in the US. And I guess also some other people would have many questions to you to learn more about how to actually set foot in the US. Speaking of people wanting to contact you, you actually now have here the chance to contact or to address the whole KNX community here from system integrators, manufacturers, institutions, and everybody else who's currently listening to what you have to say. Is there anything that you would like to say to all those people in regards to how to bring KNX to the next level, especially in regards to security? What is your take on that?
Well, for the manufacturers, yeah, bring your products to us. We'd love to have availability to your products. And I know the customers would too. They want options. They're tired of being limited on what they can do. And I know the specifiers, they're ready to embrace something new. That is, you know, I'm not saying that KNX is new, which it's not. It's been around for around 32 years, and so it's proven, it's robust. You're not locked into one manufacturer. You're not locked into proprietary software. So KNX is a viable option, and for the integrators, I've got to tell you, from someone that has worked with probably 15 or 20 different, you know, automation systems globally. Once you work with KNX and learn the standard and learn how it goes in, you would never want anything else because it is just that seamless to give your customers everything they want. So get in touch with us. Either get in touch with the KNX Association US, get in touch with the board members. You can get a hold of Christian and the team over at the global organization, and they can put you in touch with the correct people here in the US. So we're ready, we're welcome, and let's move forward with KNX in the US.
I could not have said that in any better way. Thank you very much, Frank. Thank you very much also for taking the time and sharing everything. And I hope that the message that you just have delivered also arrived at the right people and that we will see a good development of the KNX market in the US. Thank you very much, Frank. And we shall move on to the final after party of the KNX Secure Day. Thank you very much and see you soon. Bye-bye.